SkeleSteve.
Alright, welcome to part 3 of this, of my video about this trip I took 2 years ago. Let's go. So anyways, welcome to the SkeleSteve show. I'm your host, SkeleSteve. What is up, everybody? Just make sure my microphone is on. Alright, so like I said, this is the third part of the video about my trip I took 2 years ago in the summer of 2018. I last left off, I was at LA, hung on the Sunset Strip. Now I'm heading towards Las Vegas. Originally I was going to go through the Death Valley desert, but I decided to change course because it was hot as balls there. It was like 120 degrees. I'm like, you know what, I think I'm okay. I think I'll go through a different route. I took Joshua Tree and Mojave, which was still great. It actually had a little cool wind when I was in Joshua Tree. Had a nice little cool breeze there, so I was kind of happy about that. Mojave was hot as balls too.
My balls was hot.
Then I went on a couple parts of Route 66, which was pretty cool, and I enjoyed that. I thought that was it was nice. You know, I saw the Roy's famous motel that's on Route 66. They had the gas station there too. I came across that, and I actually went into the gas station to fill up, and I took a break and went in there, and there was like a diner, and I was like, hey, what you guys got to eat? And he goes, the diner's been closed for years, but we do got like snacks and Gatorade and stuff, so I had to get like a fucking, I think a Hot Pocket and a fucking chocolate cupcake, like Mrs. Freshley's or some shit like that. I was like, what a meal for a hot day. And I rode that whole time, and I had one of those water backpacks that has a straw, so I was sitting there, you know, sucking water through the straw, and it got hot really fast. That water got really warm fast. Man, I went to these areas and I got beat down so bad, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was fun. I loved desert riding. Riding in the desert was sweet as hell. It was quite the experience. You feel really close to God when you're out there, because it's just you and nothing. I actually saw this cool thing. It's called the Lion of Amoy. It's this Asian statue lion that sits in the middle of the desert off the side of the Route 66, and I look over and I saw him, like, that was like something people put in front of their house, like one of those rich people. What the hell's it doing out here? But turns out it just appeared one day that someone just dropped it off and left it there, I guess, or some shit like that. But I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I saw that and later on looked it up, found out what it was. Anyways, I got to Las Vegas after the whole day of riding through desert. I stayed at the Paris Hotel, got a sweet deal at the Paris Hotel for booking there. You know, last minute, it was like on a Tuesday. So I did that. I hit the slot machines, spent a few bucks there. Then I went to my room, showered, ordered in dinner, and as soon as I ate my spaghetti plate, which was the most delicious spaghetti in my life, but I don't think it really was, because I was so hungry and so tired, anything would have tasted great. And after I ate that spaghetti dinner, I passed out. I barely got to enjoy Vegas that day. It was my first time in Vegas too, and I didn't get to really experience it. Just rode on the strip for a quick second, got in my hotel room. I was gonna try to go to other casinos, but man, I was so tired. I got the next day, played a little bit more, probably like 40 bucks. And I mean, that's chump change to a lot of people down there or over there. So yeah, so I did that, and then I continued my trip to Arizona. So I went to the Grand Canyon, stayed at the Grand Canyon, and it was cool. You know, I camped an hour south of the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon was pretty cool. I liked it. It was weird because I was on the freeway that's right by the Grand Canyon, but I couldn't get off the exit that takes you on the road to get there for some godly odd reason. So I had to take this side road, and it was 30 miles long, I think. And like halfway through, all of a sudden the sign pops up and says primitive roads ahead. I'm like, what the fuck, primitive roads? And as soon as I recognized it was dirt roads, not just any dirt roads, it was just straight up like big holes in the middle, not up to date, nothing. So it was me dodging all these holes, all these bumps, and cows everywhere. It was a free range cattle. And it was so fun riding through here, and I had to watch out for these fucking cows that would run, like the big ones didn't move, but the little ones, the calves, your car rolled by and they'd run towards you, and I'm like, oh, what the hell, you stupid babies, you stupid mothers, control your children, they're running around everywhere, they're crazy. But yeah, I had to dodge that. I got to the Grand Canyon, you know, took a few pictures, did the touristy thing, and then I was on my way back. I noticed my headlight didn't work. And it was funny, before I went on this trip, my coworker asked me, he's like, you ready for your trip? It was right before I left, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, you have a spare headlight? I go, no. He goes, you're not ready for this trip. And that motherfucker cursed me. My headlight went out. I had to flip on my high beams, and on my way back I was able to take the main road on the way back to my campsite. And I had my high beams. I know there's elk on the side of the road that try to dart in front of me, and I seen the cars in front of me flash their lights to get them out of there. But I ended up running over. I think I'm under a rabbit or something, because something darted in front of my bike, and I ran over, and my front tire hit it, and my front end, my handlebar started shaking. I kept maintaining my speed and kept going. If I would have slammed my brakes, I would have been fucked. But I had the death wobble for a quick second, and it went away. Thank God. That was bad, but I never ran anything over, not even my car. That was my first time running over anything, and I felt kind of bad. Yes, I do have feelings, but I kind of laughed because it made the noise like it does in the cartoons. I hear when I ran it over. So I was like, okay, that's actually pretty accurate, I guess. So I got back, and I was gonna go to Phoenix because my family lives in Phoenix, but they all work. My family lives in Phoenix. They all work late. They all work till like 10 or later. They work pretty late, so I had some hours to, you know, just take care of some stuff. First thing I did was I went and I got me a new headlight. I had to have these guys help me out with that, and they had to put a new front tire because my front tire was going. So they replaced my front tire, did my headlight for me, and it was in Chandler, Arizona. My family lives in Gilbert, so it's right next to it. So then after that, after my bike got fixed, I went to a roadhouse there. You know, had a couple beers there, just hung out. There were a lot of regulars there. I talked to a couple of them. Most of them just kept to themselves. They always go there. You can tell. I think it was like on a Friday when I got there, and you can tell they were just, you know, regulars. They, you know, like when they got there, they were greeted, and it was a small bars, and everybody was having a good time talking to each other. They all know each other. And then at 10 o'clock, I got to my family's house. It's my uncle, you know, my aunt, my cousin, my two cousins. You know, I stayed there for a few days and hung out with my cousin. You know, we went to a gun range, shot some guns. I was surprised they sell silencers there. I thought it was pretty sweet. And we went to, after that, you know, got on my bike, went to New Mexico, rode out to Albuquerque, went to Old Town Albuquerque. I took a couple scenic routes there, so I rode through the desert a little bit more. And I stayed the night at Albuquerque. Then after Albuquerque, this is where it's about to end. Sadly, I went to Colorado. I went to Denver, spent the 4th of July in Denver. And that was about it, you know. Hung out at a bar, talked to a few people, talked to this guy named Dennis the Menace. He works at the bar, he does security there. He rides I think it was a VTX 1800, a Honda VTX, and he was telling me next time I come in this area, call this bar, ask for Dennis the Menace to live down the street, I'll come out, we'll go riding, or if you ever go to Sturgis, he said, call me, make sure you let me know when you go there. And he was like, I know somebody that owns a wolf reservation there in South Dakota, and we'll hang out at the wolf reservation. Which I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, I don't know if I'm trying to think if I missed any parts of me going to, you know, Arizona, right into the desert, going to New Mexico, going to Old Town. Oh, I also passed by Walter White's house and I saw Jesse Pinkman's house. Both characters from Breaking Bad. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that. That was a neat experience, but I guess the people from Walter White's house don't like people visiting. I guess somebody decided to throw a pizza on the roof, so I kind of can't blame them. That's from a scene from Breaking Bad, by the way, if you haven't watched Breaking Bad. But anyways, sidetrack again. Yeah, I end up. Oh, I should get to the fucking part here. When I left Colorado, shit, I'm such an asshole. I didn't even mention. I didn't go straight to Denver. I went to Grand Junction. I went on the $1 Million Highway, Route 550, and that was pretty sweet too. I got a video on that. That was pretty cool. You went like 10,000 high in elevation. You did some hairpin turns, man. It was nuts. I like that. Then I went to Denver. How the hell are they gonna leave that part out? Anyways, so from Denver I went home. On my way home I was having problems with my bike. I noticed that when I got right before empty, I know where my bike will finish off. Trust me, I know this. But when I got almost to empty, my bike started declining in speed. I'm like, well, that's weird. Like I couldn't get to 80. I'm like, I don't know, but it was like, it was right before E. It wasn't at E, it was before E. And I've been close to the needle, going 80 miles. That's never happened to me before. So I started declining speed. I pulled over, got gas. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I kept going, you know, going through Nebraska, and it's happened again. But the needle, every time I was running out of gas, the needle mark where I was like, you know, where I was starting to slow down on my speed, my higher freeway speed, it started getting closer and closer to quarter. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And finally I ran out of gas right near quarter. And thankfully I had that, you know, that 5-gallon jerry can in the back. I filled it up and got to gas, and then I got the gas and filled up my jerry can just in case, and it just kept getting worse. And finally I got to Iowa, Abaca, Iowa. I went to a local motorcycle shop, small town that had a motorcycle shop there. He looked at it, he checked the gas, he goes, you have good gas. He said that, you know, your fuel filter's good, everything seems good, your fuel pump seems to be working. I don't know what it is. So, you know, and I noticed it just kept getting worse and worse. Like I was getting to E and like I was just riding, and I got to like, not to E, I'm sorry, to quarter. And I was going 80, 90, and I couldn't stay 80, 90. Like my bike started slowing down. I'm like, oh, this is getting bad. So then I got to Des Moines, Iowa. I went to a power sport place. They said they're booked. Everywhere was booked. So I called my friend, hey, just in case my bike breaks down, I'm gonna have to send it to one of these power sport places, and you might have to drive and pick me up, take my car and pick me up. So then what I did was I didn't take no chances. I said every 100 miles I go get gas. Every 100 miles, I don't care. Every 100 miles I went and got gas. I made it home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was so happy to finally make it to Michigan, and I was just so relieved. And then I took my bike in, and at one of the local places, you know, several miles away from my house, and he said he couldn't find nothing. He's like, yeah, I can't find anything either. I couldn't find nothing. I went on the Roadstar forum and I talked to a few people, and one of them said, delete your fuel pump. I'm like, wait, what? They're like, yeah. They go, on these bikes, if you take, because what I did was I replaced the exhaust and I took the baffles out, and I eliminated my air induction system to reduce the backfiring, because I had new exhaust with no baffle in it. They said this will cause problems to your fuel pump. I was like, well, one problem. It's a fuel injected bike. And they said, oh, well, ours is carbureted, because my bike from 2000 or 99, whatever, to 07 was carbureted. And then they switched over to fuel pump. It was the same motor and everything, just different, you know, just a different style. Just one was, the older was carbureted, this was fuel pump. Different fuel systems. So I couldn't do that. That was not an option. But when I found out it was the fuel pump, and they said you will not detect it. They said you will not know if it's the fuel pump, and you just got to replace it, and you'll see. They said we delete it and it worked better, but for you have to replace it. So I bought the fuel pump, you know, I told the guys at this shop, I was like, hey, it's a fuel pump. We got the fuel pump. They replaced the bike work like brand new. So that's a future problem I might have with this bike, unfortunately, because the modifications I've done might have caused me to have an occurrence issue here. Hopefully I don't run into it again. I pray to God I don't, but who knows. But anyways, that was my trip, and I do plan on releasing videos on that trip eventually. I will release some videos. Actually, I'll release all of them. Any video I took on the trip, I'm going to release over the winter. You know, obviously in Michigan, it gets cold here, so I'm not going to be able to ride my bike. So I got these videos. If I run out of, because I pre-record everything, you know, about a month ahead. And it's right now it's November. We got a few lucky break days here in Michigan. We got actually a whole week of break. It's 70 degrees right now, so we got lucky. And I'm trying to get as many videos as I can. Videos from my UP trip I took 4 years ago, like over the voice commentary on it, because I didn't have a microphone at the time. So there's that. I'll release those videos. You'll get to see. And I didn't describe my whole trip. There's a lot of parts I missed out, but you know, I'll try to make this quick as I can. You know, about 15 to 18 minutes each video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring my gun email to get notified. And share this video and other videos of mine if you could. Please, 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 please. Anyways, it was fun. SkeleSteve out!